We hurt people. You want to impress me? Hurt somebody. Oh, Bobby Lashley is one intimidating son of a bitch, isn't he? Who wouldn't back down from that very, very large and scary man? I'm John Renton with my review of AEW Dynamite from the Chartway Arena in Norfolk, Virginia. It wasn't the scope, but me, oh my, down on the energetic wrestling crowd bayou, this crowd certainly brought the energy. They brought the noise, they brought the funk. No flash funk, more in the pity. No Too Cold Scorpio, none of that stuff. Let's just get into it because I've got a few things to say. And yes, we are on the way to Double or Nothing, but the last time they were at this arena, and it holds around 9,500 according to, Google, and they had around 4,000, or they were set up for 4,000. I will say that what they had, that crowd certainly was very energetic. They had around 3,200 for Dynamite on August 14th of last year, so an uptick in business. That's good. So, I do want to offer one little bit of advice to AEW. Fix your commentary situation. Taz is totally goddamn lost. Excalibur is out in the weeds. He's out practically in the goddamn desert. He has no idea what he's doing. He's out of his goddamn depth. Tony Schiavone should do interviews. He used to do good commentary. He can't do good commentary anymore. Ian Riccaboni, Caprice Coleman, you have plenty of people that could do commentary. Have wrestlers do guest commentary. Maybe not Don Callis, because I'm sick of Don Callis. Just do something like that. Just do something to fix the commentary situation. That's really my only quibble. Right now, that's about the only thing that they can fix that would be an easy fix. Just basically make sure that you shore things up. Have a two-man commentary team. You don't need 3 or 4 men on commentary, on pay-per-view, or on goddamn television. And rotate them on pay-per-view, but just do something because it's so goddamn bad and detrimental to the show. But anyway, Omega got the biggest pop after the other faces made their entrance. So it's Kenny Omega, Kevin Knight, Mark Briscoe, as well as Speedball Mike Bailey. I have to say the Speedball Mike Bailey seems like a stand-up guy. I just don't want to hear him cut promos. I just don't believe him at all. I don't really know what his gimmick is supposed to be, but he seems like a stand-up guy. So they took on Ricochet, that Kevin Knight referred to as looking like Krillin, so now I will never unsee it, and Sleepy O, a.k.a. Okada. And look, I'm sorry, but if Kazuchika Okada is just going to take this guy's money and not really do anything, I don't blame him for trying to coast here and there, but god damn it. Anyway, the Bucks, a.k.a. the Afterthoughts, and I'm sorry if any Bucks fans are watching this. I don't really care, actually, if I do offend you. The Bucks don't mean anything. The Bucks have been so goddamn they've been poison to this fucking company. They can't wrestle. They can't work. It's just gotten worse and worse. They can't move like they used to, even like 4 years ago. Everybody ages, but their style wasn't going to be conducive to them doing this in their mid to late 30s and into their 40s. So, referee Rick Knox. So it's an 8-man all-star team, and obviously it's got some intermingling pieces here. And I was told by numerous people that I talked to in Messenger, and people that I talked to on Twitter, there were people like, we're not going to spoil anything, but please watch this. You will want to watch this. You will want to watch this 8-man tag. And I think that's why I'm mad at some of you all right now, because I sat down and watched a bunch of this. I didn't watch it all closely, and I will explain why, but I watched more of this than I usually would have. Because I was told to watch this, and look, the comedy nearly took me out of it. The Bucks aren't funny. Okada, I regret ever thinking that this guy was going to be beneficial to AEW. I know that he will have a bunch of moves to uncork against Kenny Omega, and I recognize his body's beat up, but just god damn it. Anyway, the armbar comedy, it was stupid. Ricochet pretty much took all the bumps, at least early on. More comedy shit, bald. And I'm not expecting people to go 1,000 miles an hour. I don't expect that, especially due to injuries and the fact that really outside of a few people, nobody was really going to be able to move in this. But then Ricochet did something where he was going to have, his Trevor haircut, like he had, with that picture that he took with, various other wrestlers when he was a teenager, back when he actually, I guess, had a personality, or maybe he just never was able to develop one. It's really hard to tell with him because he just seems like a douche. So, I do want to say, though, there was somebody that had a sign in the crowd. I very much doubt that the person is watching this. They had RIP Mom. I think it was support your local. I didn't quite see what that was. I feel bad for the person losing their mom. It sucks. It absolutely does. So I'll appreciate our parents or those that raised us, and let's be there for them as much as we can, especially in their older age when they were there for us for, our formative years. So that being said, I do feel bad for the young person that had a young person, or they could have, I actually didn't fully see the person, so they could be around my age for all I know. Terrible if they lost their mom. So, they did a lot of multi-man spots, including like brainbuster stuff, multi-man brainbusters. They didn't need a ref, and really it was the same thing as having Rick Knox be your referee. Okada doing his elbow, I recognize that he probably, again, beat up, but just he falls. Like, why even do the elbows? Like, eh. So, he did the Rainmaker pose, but actually flipped off the camera. Okada and Omega faced off. That's when the crowd really came unglued. And then we got this convoluted thing with a couple guys in tombstone positions, and then one of the Bucks and Ricochet doing something. I think it was Speedball and I want to say it was Speedball and somebody. I don't remember if it was, I don't remember which one it was, but they did like drop kicks into the tombstone to hit that while hitting sentons. It's convoluted bullshit, and I'm sorry. If you like this, fine. I have seen matches like this on independent shows, maybe not with this level of talent, not nearly this level of talent, but it's the same damn thing, but it plays better in front of 500 people than it does in front of like 4,000. Now, granted, the crowd there was liking it, but I certainly wasn't having a great time. There was a J Driller on Okada, and I got broken up by Ricochet. And then we got a super high drop kick by Kevin Knight sending Ricochet over the top of Speedball's shoulders onto the Bucks. And then Omega does a dive. And then a Rainmaker pins Jay Briscoe. There you go. Or pins Mark Briscoe, I'm sorry. Not pins Jay Briscoe. God damn it. I swore I would stop doing that. Anyway, Mark Briscoe got pinned. Rest in peace, Jay Briscoe. The whole point is that this is 28 minutes, and while there were good spots to it, I'm not saying it was all bad. The comedy stuff and just no, I did not like that. I did not like that. The Hurt Syndicate show up. They beat up some guys. Lashley very conveniently puts a guy with weird dreadlocks in a laundry basket thing for some reason. And then, will they have MJF join them? MVP says he screws up. We get to hurt him. And then the OPPs, yeah, you know me, took on Nick Comoroto, Rhett Titus, and Miles Hawkins. Each guy got a chance to show their stuff. Nick Comoroto apparently is just going to be used as an enhancement guy. I think he came back from some kind of neck injury of some variety. And basically they did what they did. And then the Death Riders showed up, and it just made me... Wheeler Yuta needs to be excommunicated from this television program, at least as far as any kind of main spot, because he doesn't fucking deserve it, and I'm fucking sick of looking at him. I'm actually sick of looking at all this Death Rider stuff, including Marina. I still don't really know her, but nevertheless. Joe wants to get Mox what he wants, but then Mox may find sometimes that he will get what he needs. At Beach Break in Chicago. Is Chicago known for their beaches? I have questions. Steel Cage match, that's May 14th. I expect shenanigans and bullshit. So I also expect somehow we're going to get a blood and guts thing out of either this or out of the Omega Okada stuff. Renee does a pre-tape with Mercedes. I wrote down, dear God, why? I don't care if she can wrestle. I mean, she can. Her wrestling has never really been the issue. She's always sounded fake, and she sounded fake here. Renee's in with Nick Wayne and the Patriarchy, and I'm saying Nick Wayne and the Patriarchy because I want to pretend that Christian Cage is not part of this program anymore, because I'm sick of Christian Cage. I do not want to see Christian Cage anymore. It's the same shtick that he was doing with Jungle Boy, which was great. That was almost 2 years ago. So Jay Lethal shows up and says, hey, Nick, face me for the TV title. And Nick's like, I'm not warmed up. And then Christian Cage says he accepts. Tony Storm gets a pop, and then we get a package on Tony for the TCM award things. So it's Toni Storm against Miyu Yamashita. I thought it was Yamashita, to be perfectly honest. But it's an Eliminator women's title match thing, I guess. Miyu apparently works for TJPW. I've seen a little bit of her work. She hits some good kicks, and she hit some good kicks here, including one where she kicked Tony in the ass and then kicked Luther. I know Luther's kind of part of the package, but if he wasn't there, I kind of really don't think that anybody would miss him. He doesn't really need to be an on-screen character. So, spinning kick, very nice. That would be a good finish. He doesn't quite get the cover in time for 2. A hip attack and a Storm Zero, 1, 2, 3. It wasn't bad. It was just what it was. And then Mercedes shows up to talk again, and I said, "Dear God, Tony Khan, you deserve to be goddamn run out of town on a rail for this. Shut up, Mercedes. Just shut up until you're going to talk normally." Jamie runs her off. It's going to lead to Mercedes, challenging Tony. I mean, that's what it's leading to. So, Kyle Fletcher wants everybody to say his full name. I assume in the ring, possibly in bed. I'm not here to judge. The Hurt Syndicate, they're over. MJF comes out. He's over. This is basically the same thing that we've been getting. We do get Bob chants. Lashley he waffles back and forth, but then does the thumbs down thing. MJF is pissed. And Lashley just gets right in his face and said, "We hurt people. You want to impress me? You want to impress us? Hurt somebody." I think it's likely going to lead to MJF beating up Hangman Page at some point. Or beating up somebody. I mean, I wouldn't be too surprised, but they got a month until Double or Nothing. So, I mean, are they going to take Hangman Page out of this? MJF played the coward here well. MJF is my favorite girl failure, is what a sign said. Google girl failure meaning, and you will be very surprised by what you found. It's not a dirty thing. It's weird. And I'm actually ashamed that I Googled that, because I really don't know why at 44 years old I Googled that. But there's a bald guy doing mime stuff behind the announcers while they are pitching about the FTR stuff, and Stokely has DVDs of the previous matches. I hope the DVD player was low enough, because Stokely can't really reach the top shelf. So Nick Wayne took on Jay Lethal in a decent TV title match, a Ring of Honor TV title match. There was Nick's mom, Chance, and Shayna Wayne is a beautiful woman. She's very nice. I'm not disputing that. I mean, I guess it's a way to get under Nick's skin. I love Nick Wayne. What a fucking talent. Really, really gifted. They did some good spots here. There was a dive in a Rana. There was a sky elbow later by Lethal. But that got turned into a roll-up, and Nick tried for some other roll-ups, and then eventually an eye rake, and then eventually hit a Fisherman's Buster. I don't know what he calls that. I do not expect Nick to answer that. He's a very, very busy man. I'm just very happy for Nick, considering I saw him on the Indies so early on in his career. I'm very thrilled to see him continue to succeed. So, Double or Nothing in Phoenix. They need to push that better, because they are not so. That is like a 20,000 seat arena, and they are not set up for more than, I think, about 7,000 people. Can Fletcher pick a damn look and stick with it? I don't know about the pink tights. I'm not here to judge. I just don't know if it complements him very well. Hangman and Fletcher in an Owen Hart semifinal match. Home state reaction for Page, and look. They did stuff. They did a few too many things on the apron for some reason. I think that's a bit overdone in both companies. Actually, in 3 companies. New Japan as well. There was riding and spanking. I wish I knew how to quit you, Paige. Kyle fucked up his back while they're in the break. He hit the LED barricade spot really badly. Thankfully, it seemed to kind of heal on his own. Maybe they got a towel and wiped it away during the next break, because it went through 2 breaks. Hopefully Kyle's okay, because that looked pretty goddamn brutal. Credit to him, he got the fucking thing out. There was blood all over the mat. That was pretty ridiculous. Collision, by the way, is actually live this week, so at least they didn't tape that right after. And moves on the apron. We did get a moonsault into a tombstone and then a tombstone outside. We then got a Liger Bomb for 2, a Deadeye on the apron, but then a moonsault outside, and it looked like Hangman's going to get the victory. Well, he throws him back inside. He's going to hit the buckshot, but then as it looks like that's going to happen, Fletcher kind of shows the referee out of the way, hits a low blow, and then hits his brainbuster, and 1, 2, kick out. Okay. And they get on the top, do something convoluted, lariat or a buckshot variation, and then he jumped right on, right over the ropes to the apron, hit another buckshot, 1, 2, 3. That was a good finish, I'll say that much, and Hangman Page got the victory. So, I'll keep reviewing Dynamite if it gives me enough stuff to talk about and everything. But there may come a time where I may skip a week here and there. But that being said, lively crowd. I'm not going to say it was a great show, but at least it has moments. So anyway, agree, disagree, what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter, Letterboxd, Blue Sky handles in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.